Find all our courses at MeanThat.com. Every organization has a certain stakeholders, and this is one of the most important understandings in the organizational theory studies. So in this video we are going to talk about organizational stakeholders, the definition of these, and then we are going to bring some examples. So let's see the definition straight away. Stakeholders, people who have an interest, claim or stake in an organization in what and how well it performs. So I always try to emphasize the noun. So in this case, it's going to be people who have an interest in the organization. This is again really important. So essentially the stakeholders, let's imagine some person. So this is going to be our stakeholder. So this is a stakeholder. And then there is our organization. So this is the organization. And now the stakeholder is going to contribute with something. So the stakeholder is contributing. And because of this contribution, the stakeholder has some interest in the organization. So interest in how well it performs and what it does. And then after the contribution, this sort of stakeholder is expecting something, so has some expectation, and this is sort of an inducement to contribute. So inducement, so is getting something back, for his contribution. And this is a simple idea. Every stakeholder that is within the organization is going to be contributing with something and is having some inducement to contribute. So I have brought an example of a basic stakeholders within the organization. So let's go through it very briefly. We have shareholders, managers, workforce, customers, suppliers, and government. Now, before we proceed any further, let's think about these six. I see that there is a quite strong line right over here, and this line is between inside and outside stakeholders. So these guys are inside. Let me just change my brush. So these guys are inside the organization, and these ones are outside. So you see the organization has stakeholders both inside and outside. So the basic ones are of course shareholders. They are bringing in money and capital, so it's some sort of an investment. And of course in return they are expecting some dividends maybe some years later. It's called also sometimes a stock appreciation. And it's quite straightforward. The shareholders bring in some money and expect more money later on. And then we have our employees. So here we have our employees. But we have two kinds of employees, managers and workforce. Managers are bringing in some managerial skills. They are responsible for some resources or for some workforce, so they are responsible. And in return, they expect salaries and maybe sometimes also a social status. On the other hand, the workforce is bringing in only non-managerial skills and is expecting wages and promotion instead of maybe a social status. Then when we move to the outside stakeholders, we have our customers, and this is a really important stakeholder for us, for every organization. Now customers are bringing in basically revenue. They are buying products. They are buying our products. And in return, they of course expect a high quality product and maybe some fair price for this product. Then we have suppliers. These are bringing in inputs, the supplies for the organization, and are expecting the revenue for their inputs. Then we have a government. Government is basically creating some environment for us, environment in which we can operate. And this is done by rules and laws, and in return the government expects free competition and maybe some taxes. So that was the basic about organizational stakeholders.